Hi, welcome back to Dallas Twine. I'm Dave. So we got some triad work here today, all right? And we're using one chord to do this. It's an a major triad, okay? Um, and of course, you'll be able to, apply this to other types of chords and things if it works out for you. So give it a try with this one chord deal. And the purpose here is to really get you, used to memorizing some of the shapes and the sound, and kind of learning the neck in a way that's triad based, but without trying to take on a whole song and switch out over all the changes and everything, right? So, knowing where your major triad shapes and so forth are means a lot, because when you play music of any style, you just about always have some major chords in there, right? And some minor ones, right? So you kind of categorically parse this stuff out and work on it. Don't try to kind of put on an elaborate backing track and try to play like a chord tone solo over it, like the very first time you really get into chord tones, right? So a lot of us on YouTube are always trying to cook up new ways to support this skill because it's so important. So here's my latest shot at it. Now I've got a little backing track on here, and I suspect many of you are going to do a lot of work on this without using the backing track. But I will put a few minutes of it at the end of this video if you want to just, jam around with it at the end, which would be cool. And I always encourage that. No matter what you're doing and how precise you're practicing, follow it up with some musical application, kind of let yourself go and just see what happens, right? That's really important too. Um, but keep doing the work. This is something that, you don't want to do it, for hours at a time. You want to do it for like, you know 20 minutes at a time, but do this every day, right? That'll work out a lot better than trying to kind of master it all at once and then move on to the next 16 topics, or whatever's going on all the time. So I do want to play over the track here just for this initial demonstration, and then we're just gonna stop it, and really I'm just gonna show you, and it's not real complicated, right? But I want to give you a good clear game plan. So here's that A. It's kind of an A7 actually, because I'm doing like a little open. When you do that, you're really playing that G natural. It's more of a seventh chord sound. We're just using the root, third, and fifth on this. Here we go. So I started on the root with that one. Starting on the third. I can do it up here too. Okay, so guess what's next? Starting on the fifth. Okay, so many of you could see right away, and I kind of indicated, that sometimes I would start on the root, then I would move to starting on the third and go up to the other third and back down, the ascending, through each one of these, right? And so now I just want to show you and talk a little bit about how to do that yourself, and kind of, you know, move around the neck. A real quick mention about the cadence or the timing that I'm doing. That just kind of occurred to me naturally when I started playing with that backing track. Off to the side, you really don't have to worry about it. This is more about the shapes and the locations of your triads, right? I guess if you counted that cadence that I'm doing, it'd be like one, one, two, three, four, and one. One, one, two, and three, four, and one, two, and three, four, and one, and two, and three, and four, and one. Something like that. Don't get hung up on that. I know somebody's going to ask me about the counting though, so that's what I'm doing in that demonstration. And I'll probably use that same feel a lot here in the next few minutes too. But here's what's really going on. We're taking the three, we're just using triad tones. So the chord is A major. So we want the root, the major third, and the fifth for A. So those notes are A, C sharp, E, and then A again. Okay. I could do that in different places, which I did in that little demo. All right. I can mainly use this shape, this one, or part of that, and this one. Right? And that's a good sampling of the neck. That gets you moving around pretty good. Then, so that was root, major third, fifth, root, fifth, third, root. Okay, now we want to do some starting on the third. Then we want to reach the next highest third. That's just that C sharp there, C sharp there. Right? I could do that over here in this position. I could go up here and start on the third. Okay, so see, however you map that out, if you see it as like, oh, there's the root, but I'm just going to start on the next one, great. If you do it more by like note identification, well, the third is C sharp, so I'm going to start on C sharp and then take off on that, A, chord shape in your mind. However you're doing that, it's all good. Everybody has a different orientation to all of this, right? The kind of your in your mind's eye, right? But remember, the sound of it is going to let you know if it's accurate or not, right? And really trust that. When you play the note that's not in there, you're going to know. Those aren't bad notes, right? They sound cool if you start repeating them. It just sounds like a different chord progression, right? But you're going to get used to the sound of that major triad and really trust yourself on that. It'll work out. Don't just do it visually, right? We're doing a lot of visual work on this, but your ears gets the final call, is the umpire that calls it in or out, right? So then, of course, the next version would be starting on the fifth. Okay, so just to kind of build this back up, we've done a root, third, fifth, then starting on the third. Now we can start on the fifth. Right? And you can do that in different places. Where's an, uh, yeah, that's right. We could go, right? I had to think about that one for a second, right? That's the same notes as, okay. I'm letting you hear the chord as being part of it there, but you really want to separate out the notes in your fingers with this, right? Don't just set the chord down and kind of just use your pick to do it. You want to, there's a nice one for the fifth, right? If we start on E, remember our fifth is E. There's the fifth, root, third, fifth again. Let's see. Here's a tricky one. If we go start on this open E, our next note in sequence will be the root. All right. That one might seem odd to you, right? But they're everywhere, right? So again, a few minutes a day on this is all you're going to need, but it's so important. And that little bit of work each day, it is going to start paying off way quicker than you think, right? And don't worry about trying to get speed and use it all in a bunch of songs in the first 2 days or whatever, right? If that happens for you, brilliant. Don't hold yourself back. But the investment that you're making is a patient, methodical one with this, okay? And I will put a little bit of that backing track on there, and if you want to, get in there and mess around and kind of loosen it up after you've done, kind of a workout on it, and just throw in some, maybe like some A major pentatonic licks, and then work the triads in. That's kind of next level, right? To really using it to improvise, right? So it's just going to depend on where you are with your this particular skill. All right. Let me know how this goes for you. Appreciate all the support both here on YouTube and on Patreon. I'll talk to you soon.